Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night has arguably been one of the best anime from spring 2024, and I would argue that it is the best anime from spring 2024 because every episode has been so goddamn good. But Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night is one of these anime that we get every once in a while in an anime season, or every once in a while in a whole anime year. It is like a coming of age story that follows 4 girls and ends up being really good. Like, you can think of anime like A Place Further Than the Universe or Maidens in Your Savage Season, something along that line where it's like really good. And the only people that really know about this anime are people that actually watch a lot of anime instead of just like, you know, the most popular things. But I would say that this one is kind of like slightly more popular because people know about this now. But at the same time, you could say this is one that's still underrated from this season because you have the ones that are top heavy, either the ones that got new seasons or some of the ones that are just popular. And this one's like, it's close to the popular thing because I will say there are a lot of people that are watching it, but at the same time, I do feel like not a lot of people are watching this though. But let's talk about what Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night is about. Now, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night is a coming of age story about 4 girls who each have been struggling with things from their past that they haven't gotten over, but once they meet each other, they start to grow and change. And I'll say I love all the characters in this anime. There's even a side character that I'm gonna talk about later that was introduced, and we see her in episode 1, that she comes back and she has some depth to her character that I was not expecting, because when we first saw her, I thought she was just like a random idol, but then we actually got detail about her and it's so goddamn good. I was not expecting it. But let's talk about this story and like where it goes and like what all happens. So essentially, like I said, it follows these 4 girls. One of the girls, her name is Maharu, and we find out about her past is that she used to like love drawing, and she even painted this mural outside like with a jellyfish, and I'm not sure exactly who she painted it with. It could have been her mom, but we find out that like that was hers, and like she used to like be proud of that until she eventually showed 2 of her friends, and her friends laughed at it and made it seem like it was like bad, and like that made her just feel self-conscious about it, and it made her just give up on drawing and painting and all that. So we see now in present day, whenever she walks past that, she always feels bad about it because she still has that feeling of like her old friends that made fun of her, that like it was childish that she drew that and all that, even though she was really excited about that. But one day, like on Halloween, we see she goes down there and we see there's this idol that has like all these posters and stuff in front of her mural, and like in her head she's thinking like, yo, I should go tell her off, but like she's not doing it because she's more of a relaxed person. But that's when this blonde head girl comes there. We find out her name's Kano, but she ends up yelling at the idol and then going and tearing the stuff down. She's like, yo, you should not have this here. And she's like, yo, this is my favorite painting right here. I love this painting of this jellyfish. And they end up getting into it, and then eventually she's gonna perform, and eventually those two, Maharu and Kano, they end up meeting each other, and like that's when they become friends and they become close, especially because Kano, she loves Maharu's drawing right there. She loves that a lot, and she ends up even telling her about like how she sings online and all that, and she's like, yo, I want you to design my character. They're eventually gonna design a character, and that's when we meet another character. Her name is May, and we basically find out about her. She has a really like crazy backstory too, because back in the day she used to have orange hair, but people made fun of her orange hair, which is, I'm like, damn, why y'all making fun of her goddamn orange hair? That's just her natural hair. So they made fun of her hair color, and then also they made fun of her because she couldn't sing when she was actually like good at playing the piano and not really a good singer. So there's a lot of bullying stuff that happened with her, and just know that one of the things that made her change is because the Kano girl, we found out about her, is that she used to be an idol. But what happened with her is she had like a scandal that happened, and like they say like she's violent and all that, so she had to stop being an idol. But when it comes to May actually met her back in the day and actually like became like a super duper fan because like she looked up to Kano, and like they became like a little bit of friends back in the day. At first when May sees that she changed, like she doesn't really want to help her until like Maharu and Kano, they come to like May's performance when she's on the piano, and eventually like she yells out there, and that's when May and Kano, they become close again, and she's like, yeah, you know what, I want to support you still, even though like you're changing all that, you're still the same person that I know from back then. So like we have her. The last character is Kui, and like she's been best friends with Maharu like since back in the day because they've known each other forever. And this one is the most heartbreaking one that made me sad because she got done dirty, because we found out basically like when she was in elementary, everybody looked up to her like as a hero and all that. So when she got to middle school and she introduced herself, she actually had a really dope introduction, but everybody was just basically hating on her because she was just saying like how she's going to be a hero and all this other stuff, and everybody was hating on her, acting like she's childish. And even the teacher was basically acting like, he was like, yo, we don't do this here in the middle school. So that made her discouraged, and like that basically made her not want to go to school anymore, which was really sad. And then even though I will say this, she is a streamer and she is a VTuber, but I mean she's a really popular one. But one of the things is she lies basically to Maharu, and like lies about that she still goes to school even though she doesn't. She just stays at home and she basically just games and then like, you know, streams and does all that, and then it's always in Discord. So, and also when she goes outside, she always like hides herself because she doesn't want anybody from her school to recognize her. So she's really self-conscious when it comes to just going outside because she doesn't want to run into anybody that she knows from her past when it comes to school. But eventually she's gonna actually open up even to Maharu, which is like her best friend. It's like she even opens up to her and tells her like all this stuff about like what really happened. And that's the one thing I really like about this series is like all of them do open up to each other, that they all know different things about their past. And I'll say even Maharu, she was even though like she did open up about some stuff, she was still struggling, because there was one point like when their channel gets to popping, because their channel does pop off, and like she designed the character there because they had a song that blew up on YouTube when they posted it, and it like blew up. They started getting a bigger audience than what they actually had. They had a certain person that sent in some fan art, and everybody was just saying like, oh, this looks way better than the actual person that made this character design. So she was feeling very sad, and like she was like feeling depressed about it. And that's until like Kano talked to her. But even after she talked to her, she wasn't really like feeling like better about it until like eventually she got in her head, she's like, you know what, I'm about to make the best looking thing ever. And she got in her bag and actually designed something. But yeah, those are some of the things I like to just learn, like the little backstories between like all the characters and like how they go in depth. But there is one character we have to talk about that was introduced like early on in episode 1. It's the character that they basically, the idol that we saw in episode 1 that they ran into and basically like messed up her set and like hacked, and Kano ended up like performing her song. So we have to talk about this idol because I was not expecting her story to be as good as it was, and that is Miko. So Miko is the girl from episode 1 that we saw, that was the idol that was there, that was a small idol. But what we find out about her is that she's a 31-year-old idol who's also been divorced, and she's raising a child by herself named Ariel. And like I was not expecting that because I thought she was just like a younger one. But then when we actually got the depth and learned like of like actually what she goes through and how she's still pursuing this dream, and like also when it comes to her daughter too, because her daughter also has to like deal with stuff too, because like there's certain kids that bully her because like the way her mom is. But then we do find out about her backstory on like how she was not really like vibing at school at all. She wasn't making friends and all that until she saw her mom perform, and that inspired her to be like, you know what, I'm gonna open up more. And that's why her daughter acts the way she does now. And even talking to May helps her daughter out too, because she's finally expressed herself, just saying like, you know what, I'm my mom's biggest fan. But yeah, it was very crazy to see her that she's 31, especially because if you know anything about idols, you know they're never really past 30. So like to see her still pursuing this dream, along with like having all these different jobs that she can raise her daughter by herself because she's a single mom. We saw by the end of the episode that she opened up to her fans. She told them, she's like, yeah, I'm 31 years old, I have a daughter, I'm divorced. And she opened up to herself, and we saw that video that she made ended up like blowing up, and people were rocking with her more because like she was being more transparent about like what she actually does. So that one was actually really in depth, and that was a really great episode because I was not expecting that, because I was like, wow, they're going that way. I said a 31-year-old idol. I was like, and especially because like how her backstory was and how we learned about her, how like yes, she does struggle with things because one, she's raising her daughter by her goddamn self, and she tries to make her daughter's life better. That's one of the main reasons why she even became an idol for the most part, even made her daughter a thing, because like she made her daughter like her own dress because she could see that her daughter was struggling in school and struggling just in life and was sad and not really making friends. And that's when she made that outfit for her. Her daughter started being more expressive, and we just saw like the impact that she had, and I just really liked that storyline. It was just really, really good. I hope those two come around again because it was so goddamn good. But yeah, I just love seeing the 4 girls together, like because when they're together it's always fun and games, and I just love the vibe because they vibe so well and they just fit and they go off each other so well too, and you can just tell like how they're becoming closer and closer friends. I will say the most recent episode had me rolling because they went to a love hotel, but like they went there because they needed to do a retreat that they could like come up with like a new idea for a song. And it was just kind of funny because like May didn't understand that this was a love hotel, and then until they got there and she was freaking out, she's like, oh, I made a mistake. But then eventually they went to like the right suite. But I will say there was one thing that happened the most recent episode too that pissed me off, is that a random guy online that was a fan, he ended up basically revealing of who Kano used to actually be, like how she was in that idol group, and basically revealed that she's actually Jelly, and like they were gonna have like an actual concert in person, but instead they ended up doing it online because there was a whole bunch of backlash about it. But then they ended up being really good because when it comes to like Kiwi, she ended up like doing a whole bunch of like different things when it comes to this, showing all the fan art off, and it was like really dope like with the way she did it. But yeah, I just really have been enjoying this series a lot, and each episode has been so goddamn good. I can't wait to see how the rest of this series pans out and how it's gonna end. Also, when it comes to Kano, we still got to learn more about her mom, and we saw at the end of the episode that she commissioned Maharu to like make some artwork for them, so we're gonna see how that goes. But also we see that like when it comes to Kano, like her mom and her, they don't really like talk anymore, because ever since like the incident, because her mom's like basically like the either the manager or the person that runs that other company. And also we have that other idol group that she used to be in. I wonder if we're gonna get like some beef or anything anything when it comes between them. Maybe that might happen in these like last few episodes that we have, because what do we have, like 4 or 5 episodes left? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. There might be some beef that happens, or something might not happen at all, but who knows though. But yeah, if you've been watching Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, let me know how y'all feel about this series. If you've not watched this yet, do yourself a favor and go watch this right now. It's on High Dive. Go watch it. It's so goddamn good, and it's a really great coming of age story. Like I said, this is one of these ones that we get, you know, every few years, or just every, like, you know, season we'll get something like this. Not every season, but every once in a while we'll get like a coming of age story that follows 4 girls that's really, really good, because this one is so goddamn good though. And like I said, to me it's the best of the season though, but I really look forward to watching this each week though. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe, really enjoyed. But yes, please go watch Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, because it's good. But yes, I just love all 4 girls, and they're so goddamn funny, and I just love the vibes that they have with each other, and especially like when some of the background music, I will say too, some of the background music is really good, and the songs that they perform too is so goddamn good. And there's also a lot of funny moments in this series too though. But yes, go watch this anime if you haven't seen it though. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next video though. Bye.